I'm standing in a theatre in St. Albans, the Roman theatre of the city of Verulamium, built about AD 140, and it seated 1,600 people. Incidentally, the only Roman theatre discovered in Britain. Well, here in Hertfordshire, the Britons and the Romans sat down side by side to enjoy Greek tragedy or Roman comedy. Well, it's very pleasant to reminisce like this, but what's the point? Well, the point is that there's going to be a new theatre opened in St. Albans. Believe it or not, it's the first public theatre to be opened in this city since this one fell into disuse 15 centuries ago.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Dean, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very proud and very happy to be here today, very happy for my own sake and very proud because of you. And not only all you who are here today, but all you who have done these things in the past that we've been hearing about and that I've read about, people who have carried scenery, made traveling companies, done sometimes ungrateful tasks, and that is very splendid. You see, the theatre is something that you cannot divide into amateur and professional, at least not in my appearance, except by the technicality. It is the love of the theatre that binds professionals and amateurs together, and it is the theatre itself which matters, not one's career in it. There are actors, I think, in fact I know, professional actors who say that the amateur theatre, if it flourishes in a town, must of course necessarily be bad for the visiting professional. This I don't think is so. In the first place, Liverpool, which you mentioned just now, Mr. Chairman, when I was there and still is a very flourishing professional theatre. And certainly at the time when I was there, which was a long time ago, as we have been reminded, there were no less than 300 amateur dramatic societies on Merseyside alone. And if they didn't do any harm to the 3 or 4 theatres that we had going, well, it shows that they did some good. Of course, it certainly occurs to me there is a sort of, there is the opposite of that, because it happened to me. I took a production of Macbeth, which I was going to do in New York, to a Canadian city called London, Ontario, where the amateur movement is so strong that if you go into Woolworths to buy whatever it is you want to buy in Woolworths, or sitting in a dentist's waiting room, you will hear somebody say something like this: well, I don't think she'll be able to come Thursday week because they're starting, oh yes, that's The Corn is Green. And next week after that, well, that's the late Christopher Bean. No, I don't think you'll see her for another 3 or 4 weeks. She's too busy. And at that particular town, London, Ontario, at the end of the week we had done extremely well, even for Macbeth. And but we hadn't been what we'd call an absolute sellout. That is to say, it was not standing room only. And I said to the manager of the theatre at the end of the week, when he came to say goodbye, we were off to New York, I said, we have enjoyed it so much, I'm sorry we didn't completely fill the house, we didn't sell out for you. And he said, oh, very good for professionals. Somebody will tell me to stop or just produce a gavel or maul or whatever those objects are called. I will gladly perform the ceremony for which I am here. Thank you.
Now that the ceremony is over, let's take a look at this new building. This is the model. The building was actually started in February of this year and will be open in March 1968. It'll seat 240 people, and the stage is to be 20 feet wide at the proscenium and the depth of 15 feet. A wide, spacious foyer can be used for exhibitions, and there are bar facilities. Backstage, there's a workshop, a wardrobe, 4 dressing rooms, and a large rehearsal room and club room. And there's one novel feature, because although this theatre company, the Company of 10, calls itself a repertory, it's all amateur. Mr. Terence Newell is the chairman of the Company of 10. Now, Mr. Newell, all these facilities for amateurs, now how much is all this costing?
About £40,000.
And where's all the money coming from?
Well, 3/4 of it has already come. The remaining quarter will come from further productions, from every conceivable activity and gimmick that we can think up to raise money, from the sale of further seats, and from well-wishers and supporters.
I believe you had a donation from the Queen Mother, is this true?
We did indeed. We were most honoured to have this as one of our earliest contributions, and we have, in fact, donated it towards a seat which will bear her name permanently.
The city and the Rural District Council have also helped you. How have they done that?
The city helped us in the first place by giving us this land on a long lease and for a peppercorn rent, and subsequent to that, both the City Council and the Rural District Council have helped us with gifts of money or loans of money.
What's your opening production? Do you know yet?
I don't know. I only wish I did know. We've given a tremendous amount of thought to this. We know that there must be the perfect play for opening the theatre. The choice of it eludes us at the moment. We have asked Sir Michael Redgrave's opinion on this, and the choice eludes him too.
His blessing, and who may remind us that the theatre is a great art as well as just a pastime. Thank you very much for coming this afternoon. Thank you.
Mr. Newell, this really is a dream come true, isn't it?
It is really, yes.
How long has the Company of 10 been waiting for its own fully equipped theatre?
34 years.
And you've been chairman of the company all that time?
No, I've been on the committee all that time, and I've been chairman since the war.
And this is the foyer, and very impressive it is. You're going to use it for exhibitions, are you?
Well, yes, this will really be the centre of the place as regards the work that'll go on here other than the production of our own plays.
Yes.
Art shows, exhibitions of every sort, we hope will be centred here.
So you've got an arts centre and a fully licensed bar as well?
Yeah, both are important, yes.
What about the facilities for the actors? Have they got nice dressing rooms?
Oh, beautiful dressing rooms, yes. I just hope they're going to be worthy of them. Because tidiness isn't the actor's forte, as you know.
What about workshops? Are you going to build your own scenery?
Almost entirely, yes. In fact, I don't know when, I don't think we ever have bought any scenery from outside at all. We manufacture all our own.
And you have a club room?
We have a club room where we can be rehearsing play 2 while play 1 is occurring in the auditorium, or when the building is being sublet to other people.
Well, let's have a look at the auditorium, shall we?
Yes, delighted. Oh, John, this is David Stone, our public relations man.
How do you do, Mr. Stone? This is an awfully nice, cosy and intimate auditorium, isn't it? Obviously, everybody can see from every seat. How many seats are there?
244.
And they seem to have little plaques on them.
Yes, various people have donated seats and we've put their names on them.
I see. And how large is the stage?
It's 24 feet wide from proscenium arch to proscenium arch, and there's a fly tower above it 40 feet high.
And the scene is set now for one of the scenes from your opening production, The Recruiting Officer.
Yes, that's right. That's Justice Balance's house. And the one after that is the Conundrum scene, and then the Market Cross at Shrewsbury.
What are the acoustics like?
Very good. Why did you go and try them?
Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention. A kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should the warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, would famine, sword and fire crush